Yesterday, Wizards of the Coast gave us their banned and restricted announcement for March 31st of 2025, and really it didn't look like it added up to a lot, at least until you started looking at the secondary market. It's like those movies where the trailer is the best part, and then you get there and the movie's about nothing. That's how I felt today with the announcement Wizards of the Coast gave us, but there was something lurking in the backdrop, which is what we're going to talk about. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me for today's video. Now, a reminder. Yesterday's video was a travesty. I don't know how to describe what went wrong with that sound, but even at home when I checked on it, that sound could not be corrected or fixed. There was nothing I could do to level it out, and I really don't know what went wrong. So I apologize, and I want to thank everyone who caught that and told me early enough in the video so I could pull it all down. I wish I had time to recap and refilm that video, but it's likely not going to happen. Suffice to say, what was happening there was some massive secondary market stalling about cards coming out with, of course, Tarkir Dragonstorm. What we had in that video was a whole bunch of stats showing that the sales started out strong and were petering out next to nothing as players got ready. That's the shortest way to look at it. If you need any information about that video, though, I do have the data. I just don't have time to upload an entire other film about it. So if you need anything, hit me up on the email, or if you're one of my patrons, hit me up in Discord. I'll be happy to help you guys out. Now let's dive into today's video. So we had the ban announcement, the restricted announcement, saying what's going on. And I know most of you out there were like me, and we were all expecting something about Commander. We all thought maybe they're going to do it now. It's been months. Maybe they're going to slowly ease in a card. Nothing. And the disappointment of that nothing was deafening in the ear. Emails popped in, people talking about it. I even had some friends at lunch going, what a worthless waste of our time. And I go, what did you expect to have happen? They go, I don't know, something. Give us something. And I think that's because of the fast-paced world of Magic the Gathering that we're in, that everyone expects everything to be something every time. And sometimes it's just a lot of nothing. But there is something here. There is more going on than that. And I want to share that with you guys before we get to what I want to talk about a little bit later in the video. Here's just a capture shot, okay? And you can see here, Standard, no changes. Pioneer, no changes. Modern, Underworld Breach is banned. Okay, I kind of understand that. In Legacy, the Sowing Myso Spawn, and of course the Troll of Khazad Dûm. Do you remember when that thing just kept appearing on top 10 videos at like $1 a card? And it's because of things like Legacy, where people were putting 4 into their decks to like help, get things really smoothed down. It was kind of crazy. Now Vintage, we have no changes, but Pauper. The Basking Brood Scale is banned. Kuldrotha Rebirth is banned. Deadly Dispute is banned. But unbanned is Propheric Prism and High Tide. And that's where I want to focus things today, because sometimes it's not about what was banned. It's about what was unbanned, because that unbanning is a whole different thing to discuss, because a lot of people were thinking it was going to be higher end cards. They were thinking of Commander, and rightly so. That's where a lot of the game gets focused nowadays when you think of the massive Magic players playing the game. And they don't think of CDEH competitive style. They're just thinking of the casual game where players want cards unbanned. They want to get back to using things like their Jeweled Lotus. They want to get Mana Crypt back in there. They're hoping that maybe we're going to see Dockside Extortionist come back around. There's a lot of people hoping. There's even players out there who want reserve list cards unbanned and put back into Commander, like Fast Bond. I know you guys are hoping. So here we have it, and you see nothing happen. No announce is made. The disappointment. I'm only 3 minutes and 40 seconds in the video. We're over halfway done already because it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. But here's what did happen. When you look at those unbanned cards, I want you to remember that somebody out there, they had their finger on the trigger. Take a look at this. The first thing I want to share with you, of course, these are all coming from TCG Player. Look at the sold listings. Now, the High Tide I'm sharing with you here is one of the versions you'll see here for like 40, 60, 70 cents. But look at some of the sales. Some are 8, 10, 4, 6. There's 61 sales because it's 50 cents a card. That's only like 30 bucks. Guys, the sales on High Tide being unbanned went to the stratosphere. Here's the more expensive version of High Tide, okay? The specialty version. Look at this thing. It was selling 111133. And by the way, this is just part of screenshots. These go on for pages in some cases. Not this one, but they do go on for pages. And of course, if I keep slipping forward, you'll see there are even more copies. Here's 14 copies, 44444. It depended on where you were looking, but they just kept going. And the more copies you looked at, the more you saw how much people were buying this card, speculating on it. A lot of money got made today. And it may only seem like 50 cents here or there, but when you're selling that card, you're selling it for $1 usually at a local shop, and it looks like a lot of people cleaned house, bought a whole ton of these cards to bring into stock. A lot of our players hoping to capitalize later on. You know what? Makes perfect sense. It's such a low value card. And now it has value again. It has a reason to exist in a format like Pauper that we haven't seen for a long time. So unbanning cards like this and the Prism, which I didn't go into the sales for that card. I didn't think it was necessary. You can kind of see how the sales were going. They were just ramping up as the day went on with more and more players as they read the announcement diving into this card. Now, before people ask, no, I don't own any copies of this card, and I'm not going to be purchasing any because as many copies as you guys saw that were selling right now, the price wasn't shifting. There was no upward momentum because this thing has been reprinted so many times. Now, if we go another 8-10 days at this kind of pace, we're gonna just dry the market up, and then it'll give a chance for it to be restocked, and that will force prices up temporarily. But this card's been reprinted multiple times. It should all go back down because I don't think there's people out there that need 400 copies just for their own personal deck collection. I could be wrong. I just don't think it's heading that way. So when we look forward to these announcements, what you can expect probably in the next little while is now that the announcement's done, the finance section is kind of taking hold, you will see people who speculated on Dockside Extortionists, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt. Their window for this round has gone by. Some will hold strong, and they will hope that it's going to get unbanned at a later date. Others will start slowly slipping these back into the market, not all of them, but some of them, to recuperate some of their costs. What they bet on, they bet the street on, it didn't work out. So now they got to kind of cut their losses a bit and get some of that capital back. So they're hopefully not going to lose their shirts on it. That's what they're hoping. But we'll see how the market understands it and what the market thinks they're worth right now since they're not unbanned. It's going to be a great conversation topic for players in the next couple of months, as these won't be like crashed onto the market. They'll just be slowly dripped out, a few copies at a time, from players who bought a really large position, 20, 30 copies, and just need to recuperate a little bit of cost for future things. It's understandable. Now, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Hopefully this video gets edited properly. I'm going to listen to the sound after, make sure everything's good. I'll put one earplug in so my hard of hearing ear doesn't throw any distortions out there. And we're going to make this happen today. So I want to thank you guys for sticking by the channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you like hanging out with the Moxman. And of course, remember, whenever cards are banned or unbanned, that secondary market can be key. You cannot time the market, but if you see a price you think is reasonable, that's the time to go in on it. And as far as Tarkir goes, expect the prices to stay stalled on these single cards until we see how many are actually going to go into the market. Because right now, there are too many in the market and nobody's biting at those prices, which means they are going to start dipping. They cannot stay high if nobody's buying. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow with another video. And hey, have a great day in the world of Magic the Gathering. I'll see you guys soon. Well, here we are at the end of the video. Well, I mean, what do you say to that? You say thank you, thanks for hanging out, thanks for being here. I hope you guys had a good time. And then you realize it wasn't just me that made this possible for you. It's the other people on this channel you don't always see. And that's my patrons, my YouTube membership members who have monthly subscriptions to this channel, who support me and allow this content to be created. So hey, thanks again to all those wonderful people out there. Hey, Peter, what's up? Office Space was a great movie. This ramble jamble made no sense, and I'm okay with that.